Hi, my name is Brent Horton. I'm a student of KIN363, and today I'd like to go over the movement concepts or themes that are essential for a student to basically learn the essential skills to later learn more developmental skills such as fundamental skills, which I'll go over. And it's also important that the student acquires the necessary vocabulary words that goes along with these activities. And there's 4 classifications to these human movement concepts. The first one is body awareness. So it's basically learning how the body works, how the body can move. So learning, how to make different shapes with the body. Learning alphabet, different shapes. Short, wide, how to get as wide as you can. How to get as tall as you can. Just contorting different things. And balance is another thing, so balancing on one leg, one hand, one elbow, 2 hands, and so on and so forth. The other is transferring of weight, maybe going side to side, trying to balance, so forth. Hula hoops are great, going in the hoops, trying to balance inside of them. The next is flight, so hanging from objects for an extended period of time. And so that's the first one. The second one is space awareness, so where the student is in relation to space, so where they are compared to other students or other objects. The other is direction. So movement up and down, sideways, level, so, how they are up, down, under, above, and pathway, straight, circular, curved, and different planes of motion, vertical, horizontal, different things like that. And then, so the third is qualities of movement. This is basically defining how an action is to be performed. So examples of this would be running, okay, time, speed. If you're telling a child to run as fast as you can for 30 seconds, that's giving a specific time. Speed is how fast you can. The other is force, so telling the student to perform muscular force as fast as you can, or controlled. The other is flow, and this is uninterrupted or sustained movements, such you see in different sports like basketball or dance. And lastly, the fourth is relationship, so learning to with whom or what position the child is in to others, or equipment used, etc. So where to move, how to move, with whom, partner, group, being a leader or being a follower, or doing the same or doing the opposite, so on and so forth. And lastly, there's 2 fundamental skills that are really essential to the student's learning. And these are really critical for learning daily activities, or progressing into learning daily activities and sports. And it's just really essential to learn these prior to going on to learning more developmentally appropriate things. So there's 2 divisions of this, 2 classifications. The first one is locomotor skills. And these are things like jumping, running, skipping, hopping, leaping. These things are within motion, so going from point A to point B. The next is non-locomotor skills, and these are things that are performed in place, so with usually 2 feet planted on the ground. And so an example that would be a push, a pull, bending, stretching in place, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to give you just an example of a few here. And so with starting with locomotor skills, start with jumping. And so with jumping, some important cues is you want to tell the child to, start with both feet on the ground and make sure you're swinging the arms. And you want to start with some bent knees. And you want to propel yourself forward. So start with the hands back, right? So with the chest forward. And then you want to jump as far as you can, landing with bent knees, okay? And that can be done also in place, right? Landing with soft knees, and you're also landing on the balls of your feet, not on your heels. And so that's just some important cueing. The next is hopping. So important cues for hopping is critical distinction between hopping and jumping is hopping is 1 foot. So you start with 1 foot and you land with that same foot. So it's the same cueing as jumping, swinging your arms, right? And starting with bent knee and land with a bent knee, right? So that would be hopping. And then leaping is basically landing with the opposite leg, and it's, which I can't do because of my knee. And it's like that. And next is non-locomotor skills. So I'll give an example of a push. So using a wall, right? Pretending like you're pushing a wall. So you can get a split stance like this, and you want to, like trying to push something over. Important cues would be, lower your center of gravity, and you want to, generate the force forcefully but continuously, and you're pushing with your hands, using your chest, right? You're pushing. Next is pulling. So I have just some bands here. Okay, so pulling. Again, it's emphasis on with the knees bent, so lowering your center of gravity and telling the student to forcefully pull, right? So it's retracting the shoulder blades, squeezing, right? It's basically using your body force to pull, and lowering your center of body weight and learning how to control movement through a pull. Bending is last that I'll demonstrate. Some important cues would be like feet together, and doing side to side, coming down. How low can you go? How far can you go? Going back, going forward, side to side. Making sure that the center of the body stays just as it is in center, and then using your extremities, right, opposite extremities, bend down as far as you can and reaching. And that's it. Thank you for watching.